Hello, it's John Lord here, coming to the end of September, and we have a little bit of high pressure, which is not that common in Ireland, so we don't have any rain and we normally get cold nights. But the weather hasn't been as good as the weather forecasters say, which is very unusual. Anytime they say anything, they say it's not going to rain in 4 weeks' time. And on Wednesday, I would always 100% agree with them. Well, maybe not. But anyway, it's nice. They were actually weather forecasters were correct. They were correct. A few issues. It's funny the way gardening works. You start one job. What happened here? They'd all rotted those poles, so I replaced them. And what was the final straw? Is the birds start pulling the poles up. You come in the morning, all the bits of poles are pulled up, and the birds were looking for stuff underneath. So I did that yesterday. See, it took me about an hour. It's very easy. So we do a little bit every year, maybe 10 yards per year. And as I was doing it, I noticed a few things. I noticed this is getting very big, this lovely Cosmopolitan, and it's in the way of this, the Actaea. So I took a few bits off. So in the winter time, we'll probably remove some of that, so it's not as close. I noticed this particular rose, and it's the colour I like, but it's very prone to black spot, and we're not spraying as much as we used to because it's not eco-friendly to spray, and I'm lazy, so it's leco. I'm leco-friendly, lazy, and eco. So what we do is we look at similar roses and see what their position is before we make a decision. And that's simply peach, and that's got virtually no black spot. And around here we have one of the fairy roses, and that's got virtually a little bit of black spot, but very little. So we're going to remove this. And there's another reason. It's a very good south-facing area, and we're really short of south-facing spaces. Now we're going to put one rose back. We're going to keep a rose, but we don't know what rose. So what we're doing, that's during the week, just like that, get the thing in. Always wear gloves when you're dealing with roses. And then we just take it up like that. Like that. Now you can see that if I was doing it properly now, I'd put on the good thorn-proof gloves, but we get them all out in a half an hour, and we have a lovely space there, and then we're going to have a bit of fun. A few other issues. We noticed that's how good Rudbeckia deamii is at the end of September, heading into October. How good, how clear. Really, if you have space, it's a really good plant. And the Rudbeckias were very good this year, all the Rudbeckias. We planted, I think I mentioned these already, not even 2 weeks ago, those cardoons or artichokes, and already they're grown. And I learned something else. They were very scrawny, so I removed the dead leaves, and I'm going to leave the dried flower heads on top. But next year, I won't remove the dried flower heads at all. I'll just remove the dead leaves and leave them sort of statuesque effect. We were doing a bit of weeding, and I noticed we have some horsetail there, and we have some over here. Now, horsetail, for me, a professional gardener, zero tolerance. Now, I don't normally use weed killer, but that's one exception. You can, if it's in an area where there's no plants, you can use salt. Salt does work. But if you've got plants and you use a lot of salt, you can damage the plants. it has to be zero tolerance. Now that's hardwired into me that there's horsetail there. So I will keep at it until it's got rid of. Now what you do, if you're using a weed killer, you trample on it first to try and break some of the cells, the outside, which stops the weed killer getting in. So you trample, or else you get a product that you add to the weed killer that goes through it. But it's one exception to using weed killers, because I have seen gardens. Actually, last week I was in a place, and the car park, they had a large planted area, and it was covered in horsetail, and put down the mypex, the ground cover mypex, black mypex, and it was coming up through it and raising them. It was just a complete and total mess. And all you could do there is basically remove everything and start from scratch. So you cannot let it take control in your garden, because it will take over. So it's complete zero tolerance. Even though it's a beautiful plant in the wild, it's a beautiful plant. You leave it alone in the wild, leave it alone in the hedgerow, it's beautiful. But not in the garden. Now, just going to look at a few plants. And I've been wearing these heavy gloves for a while, because I have never seen the growth this year of blackberries. They're everywhere. They're just coming everywhere like triffids. And I've never seen the amount of blackberry fruit. I've never eaten as many blackberries as this year. They are just everywhere. But once again, you have to control them. It's not zero tolerance blackberries, because they always keep coming back, because the birds eat the berries and drop the seeds down, and that's how they're spread. This is Viburnum Mariesii, plicatum Mariesii, and look, it starts its autumn colour very early, and it holds it for ages, and it's throwing a few late flowers out. It doesn't tend to berry. It's a problem. It doesn't tend to berry, unlike Dart's Red Robin, which we'll look at in a minute. But two things. I planted this Salvia, but it's too close in colour to Penstemon Evelyn. What I should have done, planted this one. A good contrast. But look here, that's Salvia here. That's Amethyst lips. And I just found out something about those small flowered salvias. Sometimes some of them, when you're any distance away, you can't see them. They just disappear in a blur. And that one is very, very good from a distance. So that's one worth thinking of, Amethyst lips. And we're the Echinacea, we are leaving the flowers, the dead flowers, to fade, and we're going to try and see what that looks like in the winter. What's left, I think it might be okay. And that got badly hit in the drought, that Persicaria. I cut every single flower off about a month ago, and it's just reflowered. And one of the joys in the autumn time is Sedum Autumn Joy. It is hard to beat. For a dry, sunny position, it never disappoints. Always really good. I love that flatness. Sometimes you see butterflies on it. It's really good. And of course, this time you've got the Aster Mönch. And I'm not sure about this fuchsia. It's little. I'd like it to flower a bit more, so I'm not sure. But the Aster Mönch you cannot beat. Now we're going out the back to look at the Dart's Red Robin. And we might as well mention this again. This campus. I cut it in video, put it back really hard this year, about 3 months ago, and look at it. So good. So that's one that needs to be given a hard scene to every few years, and it doesn't seem to be affected by the wind. The drought was very good stopped it from being too lush and getting too much growth and falling over. Cotinus Grace. we have a problem here. We're finding in the prairie garden, because there's a lot of shade from the trees, some of the plants are growing a bit stronger, a bit taller, and then they're flopping. We're going to take out this here pink brushes, Sanguisorba pink brushes, completely flopped on everything. That's coming out. That's the only thing that's coming out, but we're going to do a small job on it. See what? Terrible pity. We have that in other parts of the garden and it's really good. But, and funny, the prairie garden is the garden that should be the most open. And these didn't work, the Helictotrichons. So they're coming out. It's not open enough for them. Oh, we'll do that later on, that's me finished. And, oh look, a little bit of autumn colour. The Euonymus Salatus, that is one of the best autumn coloured shrubs you can get, Euonymus Salatus. That's just going to get better and better and better. So here's Dark Red Robin. Now, isn't that really good? And when I was looking at that, oh, here's why I have my gloves. For these. I noticed that it's derived from Geranium Rosanne, and it's very bleachy coloured flower, and it's kind of lost in there. I just saw it today. And we're going to lift it. It's a very woody root and it can be split. It's going to go here. I'm going to put it here. Take all that out. And the Sanguisorba is going to be replaced by Miscanthus. It's going to be replaced by this. That's her. We're going to put in a variety called Red Sheaf. Now, what's next? Uh-oh. I can't remember what's next. Oh yeah. This here. That's a very hard to get shrub. I nicked the cutting from a very large overgrown plant in the gardens a year ago. Tiny little cutting, shouldn't have, and because it's not available, and it's going to get this size, and it's a shrub. And I've already given 2 cuttings away to people already, so you know I'm doing my my community service for giving away cuttings to people. But I would recommend that. You know, and once again, the best pampas of all times, I think, is this. I mentioned it the last time, it's getting better. To cut this back, finally, the Lichinus Gardener's Whirl, I think it is. They wouldn't be long-lived plants. They look bone-dry conditions. City. Yep. Looks okay. There's the Galegia that was cut back about 2-3 weeks ago, and it's just giving a bit of green. Let's see, what next? I'm not going to do any work. I'm just going to look at stuff. Oh yes, I want to look at the plants we're going to put here. It's facing south. I'm going to put one rose, and I'm going to put a Shasta daisy, but I want to put a yellow Shasta daisy in, and I want to put a red. I want to put a red Salvia in. I'll tell you why. We'll see it down here. No. Let's see it. It's just we go over there, I think, David. I've already lost one of my gloves. I want to plant this one here because of the yellow flower as against the normal one, which is this one here. White flower. I just want to plant because we don't have it anywhere. So this is a very good one. Ooh La LaGrande. It's supposed to be a very good one, but I want to plant this. Okay? And we're going to plant this one here. I think that's the best of the small leaf salvias. The Salvia microphyllus, that one there, Royal Bumble. That's been flowering for the last, I'd say, 3 months. That's great, Rudbeckia. If you can get it, you should. If you can get it, not to flop. If it doesn't flop, or I'm not into staking stuff, but it's nearly one I would put a slice stake in. But look, it's beautiful. I think it's gold quell, or it's one of the late flower ones. So we're going to plant this. We're going to get a rose. We're going to plant a rose. Probably this one here. No, not this one here. I'm going to plant. Oh, it's around the corner. We'll go and get it and have a look and see what we think. But you see, I have a garden centre, and look at the amount of stuff we have to plant. Oh, there's the salvia. I'm going to plant that. But the more stuff you have, the more difficult it is, not the easier, because you've too much choice. Oh, I'd like to plant the yellow one, but that grows too tall. I'm very, poor sunlight, I'm very tempted to plant that one, or maybe this one here. Oh, I don't know. Diamonds are forever. Oh, decisions. And you think you've got a hard job. But, and should we plant one of a paniculate hydrangea as well? Look at that. That looks good. This is what I'm thinking of. Don't go into the potting area because it's messy. All good potting areas are messy. If you see a gardening program and the potting area is nice and tidy, be a little bit suspicious. Look, screaming neon red. I'm not sure. I'm very tempted. The problem is, if I leave this here and come back tomorrow, a customer would buy it. Hide it behind here. So of all these, I've have all these choices, and you're doing your garden, it's the same. Professionals, there's no certainty. There's no certainty. You always have your choices, and it doesn't matter if you'll find that things that you think are going to work out really well don't work out that well, and things that you just put in at the last minute to fill in the gap, they're the ones that work the best. That's how gardening works. So we finish off not the grapes, 90-foot long grapes. And obviously it's a good autumn because at this stage the birds have cleared them. And good news, 2 people have already picked for apple jelly or whatever, loads of these, so it's great. People are getting great value from them. Let's see. What do we finish with? The best Helianthus by a long shot this year was Lemon Queen. It was just amazing. It was just great. It went on and on and on. It was really, really great. By far the best of all the Helianthus. And we finish off here. Look at that rose. That's Buff Beauty. Not a bit of black spot. This was super. And that's one I'd recommend of all the Knife-Hopias red hot pokers. Get that one, Coalescence, because it has the lovely foliage even when it's not in flower. That's the one, best one to get. Mini Pampas, no, don't like it. Diamond. It's called Diamond. This is Diamond something. This is a white rose. Bought it in the garden centre somewhere else, and it's never given a day's trouble. Look, not a touch of black spot or mildew on it. Really, really good. Oh yes. There's one plant. We finish off here. A plant that really like. If you look from here, David, how good that is. If you have an open situation, oh, you can't beat Malinia transparent. They're just fantastic. And that Sanguisorba grown, that little small Sanguisorba. I don't even know what it is, but it's really, really good. This one. It's finished flowering. Flowers are stopped, but they're fading, and look how good that is. I didn't know that. And now, as the year starts to fade, we have to think of winter jobs. Here's another winter job. We have to get rid of all the ivy, as much ivy as we can from the yew hedge, because if we don't, we'll never get rid of the ivy. It's not like the horsetail. Ivy will always be with us, but it's a constant battle. You're not trying to win the battle, but you're just trying to have a sort of a neutrality with the ivy, it's sort of a bit of a truce, but you'll never beat the ivy, and you don't want to beat the ivy either, because ivy's so important. And actually, look, it's coming into flower, and it's one of the last flowering, one of the last plants that are pollinated by insects. The flower so late, so it's so important for them. So for that reason, I'll always be a 50-50 truce with ivy.